The muscle up is the first move that everyone wants to learn when starting out with calisthenics. It's fairly complicated because it requires you to apply enough force to get the body over the bar. However, you must also be in control so you can relax your grip and your hands can make the transition. In this video, I will talk about what is keeping you away from doing a muscle up and what will help you to do it. I am not going to be talking about strict muscle ups. You will teach yourself that on your own once you achieve the momentum muscle up. And that's what I'm going to be talking about. It's going to be an in-depth video and it's going to be long, but I think you will find it helpful. So one thing that is keeping many people away from doing a muscle up is that they are so used to doing regular pull-ups. Now in a regular pull-up, your body is moving completely vertically in a straight line, but the muscle up requires your body to move in a curved line. And basically the problem is that every time I see someone trying to do a muscle up, they're just doing pull-ups, and what happens is that their chest touches the bar and there's no way for the body to continue going up, and all of that is because they're pulling up more vertically in a straight line instead of a curved line. And pulling up in a curved line is harder because you have to start pulling like this instead of like this. When you pull up like this, you are contracting the biceps and the forearm and the back, and you generate a lot of pulling power. Whereas when you pull up like this, you can't use the full force of those muscles, and that's what makes the muscle up harder. And that's why you should learn to generate momentum from the lower body if you aren't strong enough. That's where problem number 2 is. When people try to generate momentum, they don't know what they're doing. A lot of people have been told that they have to kick with their feet, and that's not true. This is what happens when you kick. Nothing happens. The truth is that the secret to generating momentum is right in front of you. Every time you see someone doing a muscle up, it's just that you haven't noticed it. And that secret is you must go in front of the bar, and as soon as you feel that you're going to go back, you pull up. We can stop looking at my footage and start looking at a lot of other muscle up videos, and I'm sure you'll notice it. Alright guys, feast your eyes on the almighty Zeph, the king of pulling strength in the entire calisthenics game. And now look at the way he does the muscle up. He will go in front of the bar. Let me just pause the video. Look at how his body is positioned compared to the bar. So his body is in front of the bar slightly, and it's now pointing like that, and as soon as he pulls, he's going to be propelled over the bar because he's going to be pulling up in this direction, not completely up, because that way the chest will touch the bar and he won't be able to go over it. So just look at how he's not letting his body go back. And again, and this guy as well. Look at that. Look at that. This is an even better example. Look how he went forward just slightly, and now his body is pointing like that, and he's gonna pull that way, and he's not gonna let the body swing backwards. He goes forward. As soon as he feels that he's gonna go back, he just pulls up. Look at that. Let's just watch Zeph again. Look at that. Goes in forward and then pulls. Goes forward, pulls. Goes forward, pulls. So why? Why are people doing that right before a muscle up? Well, just look at where my body is pointing. It's not pointing completely up like in a regular pull-up. It's pointing in this direction. And as soon as I start to pull, it will be propelled in this direction like a rocket, and that is what is required to generate the curved trajectory which I was talking about. But the guys I showed you are advanced and do it very slightly. So when you're trying to learn a muscle up, you will have to really try to exaggerate this going in front of the bar thing to generate more momentum. And as you can see, I'm not kicking, I'm just bringing the feet in like I'm doing knee raises. And that's where problem number 3 is. Everything has to be synchronized. A lot of people first kick and then they pull, or they first pull and then they kick, or they let the body swing back for a while and then they pull, and it just doesn't work like this. What you must do is both pull and bring the feet in at the same time without letting the body swing backwards. In slow motion we can see it better. As you can see, I'm bending my elbows and knees at the same time, and I'm also extending them at the same time. When you do that, you will generate momentum properly. And if you pull normally like this, you will most likely do a high pull-up, but if you use this technique, you will most likely do a muscle-up. And this in front of the bar position must be done not just for muscle-ups and high pull-ups, but also for toe touches. As you can see, I am again doing the exact same thing, bringing the body in front, pointing it in this direction, and then pulling so that it doesn't swing back. So really the one thing in my opinion that you should definitely practice is doing many pull-ups and chin-ups, but with this technique of going in front of the bar, and really learn how to propel your body in the air. But there is still the problem with hand transitioning. Grip strength is crucial for the control of hand transitioning, and I have a very good solution for you: the false grip. The false grip is kind of like hanging on your wrists. It's mostly used during slow muscle ups because it completely removes the hand transitioning. But you can also use it for momentum muscle ups because it will make them easier as well. The way you are going to develop a strong false grip is simple, but it will take some time. So first, do supported false grip hangs like this, so you don't have to battle with your entire body weight. When that becomes comfortable, move on to false grip dead hangs, where you will finally have to start working with your entire body weight. When that is comfortable, start to do pull-ups with false grip. Maybe start doing a few front lever variations, and then start practicing jumping into the bar with a false grip. And finally, you should aim to be able to jump into the bar and then hold on to it, pointing the body in the right direction by going in front of the bar, and start pulling. And all of that with a false grip. If you achieve this, it will make your momentum muscle ups easier because it will completely remove the transitioning problem. But it will take some time to develop a strong false grip. It took me about 6 weeks. Now I want to talk about elbow conditioning. First, don't flare the elbows out like this. It makes the muscle up harder. Keep them close to the body because you can apply more force to get over the bar. Second, when I started learning the muscle up, I felt pain in my elbows, and specifically in this area right between my triceps and biceps. I attribute this to my poor elbow conditioning that I had back then. The way I fixed it is by backing off from muscle ups and doing elbow muscle ups. You've probably seen them done in a few videos. They look hard, but they are actually easier than a muscle up. The way you are going to learn them is by simply start hanging on your elbows, and when that becomes comfortable, start pulling up in the position and you will do an elbow muscle up. If you find the bar too rough on your arms, just put some clothes on yourself or on the bar to make it more comfortable. This exercise really helped me condition my elbow and help make my elbows more resistant to injuries. I recommend doing 3 to 4 sets of 3 to 6 reps on this exercise per workout. Now, just to close this off, let's take a look at an example routine. You're going to start off with 2 sets of pull-ups, and you're only going to be doing 2 to 4 reps, and then you're going to be following it up with 2 sets of chin-ups, again only doing 2 to 4 reps. Now the goal is to use the momentum technique, which I talked about previously. And when you use that technique, your goal, there's a reason why I only say do only 2 to 4 reps. Your goal should be to really try to learn to propel your body higher in the air, not so much just hammering away reps. So really, this routine is about just learning to apply the momentum technique, which will give you those high pull-ups, which, if you also develop a strong false grip, can more easily transfer to a muscle up. So you're gonna follow those 4 sets with 2 sets of pull-ups and 2 sets of chin-ups, and this time you're going to be doing 6 to 10 reps. And basically, you're not going to be using momentum anymore. This is just for conditioning of your muscles, and not just your muscles, your body in general, because when you use momentum in the first 4 sets, you're really just improving your technique. But to have a healthy progression, you really need to focus also on improving your conditioning. Okay, so let's go over the more important points of this video again. 1. The muscle up requires your body to move in a curved trajectory rather than a completely vertical one like in a pull-up. 2. That curved movement is stimulated most when you go in front of the bar and immediately pull without letting your body swing backwards. 3. A false grip will make the muscle up easier regardless if it's a slow or a momentum muscle up. 4. Flaring the elbows out can be dangerous, and it can also make the muscle up more difficult. 5. Even though the muscle up seems more impressive than a pull-up, the pull-up is a superior conditioning exercise in most cases because of its more simple and straightforward nature.